Welcome to Tuesday Talks at Cure. I'm Seema Kumar. March is Women's History Month, and we're talking to female founders and CEOs shaping the future of healthcare. Today, I'm excited to welcome Dr. Irene Rombel, who at the age of 12 decided to dedicate her life to following in the footsteps of the famous French scientist Marie Curie, the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the first person to win it twice. Irene is a biochemist and a molecular biologist who has worked in biotechnology, big pharma, consulting, investing, and academia. With over 20 years of experience advising and mentoring startup companies, Irene is herself now the CEO and co-founder of BioCurie. Her biotech startup is using AI to revolutionize the process of developing and manufacturing cell and gene therapies. Last month, I had the honor to announce that BioCurie was one of our winners of the Cure Xchange Innovation Challenge, Health AI for Good. Congratulations, Irene.
Thank you.
Welcome again to Cure.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it. Before we get into AI and the technology behind BioCurie, I wanted to discuss a little bit about your incredible career thus far. You've had a long career in academia, biotechnology, big pharma, and also as an investor, and you have 2 doctorate degrees and gave birth to your second child while also getting your MBA, taking only 2 days off to give birth. Wow, you are superwoman, Wonder Woman of STEM. That's what you are. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you balanced it all, especially early on in your career.
Yeah, so I've always been driven by curiosity and essentially doing good. That was really instilled in me from a very young age. So, with science and applying that, you really get the best of both worlds. In terms of balancing, I don't think anybody truly balances everything. You just try and do it all and do your best.
Yeah, because there is no such thing as a balancing thing, right? Yeah, you focus on one thing one day and the other thing another day, and you just have to make it all happen. And that's unfortunately the way it has been, especially for women. Things hopefully are changing. Now, Irene, gene therapy, cell therapy, this is not an easy feat to accomplish, right? There's still so many different things we still have to learn about these modalities and therapies. And there's many bottlenecks, right? There's bottlenecks in early stages, late stages, and you've seen firsthand what these are, because you've worked at J&J, you worked at Spark Therapeutics. Tell us a little bit about what you learned about these bottlenecks and how BioCurie, your startup, attempts to solve them.
Yeah, so I've seen all modalities, and for small molecules and for traditional biologics like antibodies, the bottleneck is more along discovery, and then process development manufacturing is fairly commoditized. But when I saw cell and gene therapies, the paradigm is really flipped, and you see these major bottlenecks when process development, when you're trying to essentially figure out the optimal recipe for producing each therapy, and even during commercial manufacturing. So that's where I realized, okay, this is going to really be the opportunity that would be great to focus on, because it's in the future, it's going to become the major pain point in the industry. And sure enough, a couple of years later, here we are, and it certainly is.
Yeah, because there are many gene therapy programs and cell therapy programs going on, but then you reach a big bottleneck when it comes to manufacturing at scale, right?
Correct. And so again, it's making those therapies consistently, reproducibly at an acceptable cost of goods and in a very, very timely fashion. So, there's the process development piece during optimization, as well as the actual, once you have it in clinical and commercial production. So all of those areas where we've developed a solution for using our technology.
And it's important to do it. It's not just for ease, right? It's also cost.
Oh, it's critical. It's going to be the difference between commercial success and failure, and really getting those therapies to patients. Because today, yes, they work wonderfully in the clinic and in patients once they're approved. But unfortunately, with multi-million-dollar price tags for some of these gene therapies, they're just not affordable by individuals or even healthcare systems and payers.
Yeah, and not to mention the cost of producing them, because as a company, you can't be producing products that cost that much.
Well, that's where the issue comes in. That's driving up the high price tags, because you've got the cost of actual development and then the cost of goods for the actual production. So
and cost of failures.
Well, that's exactly right. That's baked into it as well. So unfortunately, even with multi-million-dollar price tags, I don't think it's not a very compelling value proposition at the moment until we fix these issues. But everybody knows that it's absolutely a tractable problem, and because companies like BioCurie will come up with very innovative solutions. And this is the same pattern that we've seen a couple of decades ago with antibodies. People knew that it would be solved if we got smart about it. Sure enough, today we've got very affordable antibodies. So the same thing will be recapitulated with cell and gene therapies.
That's great. And it's an important thing for us to do, right?
Well, it's life-saving.
Yeah, it's life-saving. And it democratizes these extraordinarily wonderful breakthroughs in science and technology so that it's actually saving human lives.
Yeah, actually, you've exactly nailed it. So part of my mission is really to democratize cell and gene therapies.
So why are gene therapies and cell therapies, why do they take so long, and why is it so expensive? Because I think if we give people an understanding of the problem, then maybe we can better appreciate your solution.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's complex, which makes it very laborious, very hit or miss. And so it just takes a very long time within a lot of trial and error and empirical testing. So which results in high development costs, high cost of goods, which for gene therapies, viral gene therapies, it translates to multi-million-dollar price tags per patient, which is not a sustainable business model. It's not a sustainable therapy, and everybody is incentivized to fix this issue. So biopharma companies, payers, and especially patients and their families. So we're all motivated and to really address this.
So how does AI and machine learning actually solve for this? I understand that there is multiple levels of complexity and trial and error.
Yeah.
So is the machine learning and AI a form of just sort of not making the same mistakes again and again and learning from previous mistakes?
Yeah, so it's basically running, instead of maybe dozens of experiments, if you're lucky, it can run millions of simulations. And it's not purely machine learning and AI, which would require still large data sets. And today, unfortunately, for cell and gene therapy, we don't have large data sets. We've got small, sparse, pretty rough-looking data sets.
Yeah.
So that's where it's why we developed a new technology, which we call BioCurie, for mechanistic AI. And so then that also pulls in decades of knowledge spanning fundamental biology, chemistry, and physics, and that is then linked to AI, machine learning, etc., to come up with those solutions that I alluded to.
So Irene, you bring a very unique background, to somebody who's been in this field, like from academia to biotech to industry to consulting and investing. So you've touched pretty much all parts of the ecosystem, right? How does this set you apart from other startups, and how does it make you as a CEO of BioCurie differentiated from other startups?
Yeah, so I do think that I have a very unique background because I've made a concerted effort that beyond the science and technology to educate myself on the business side, on the investing side, on the actual R&D and then translational side, both at pharma and biotech. And in addition, along the way, I became a patent agent because I wanted to understand the IP as well, which is a core part of the value of a company. So with that, I understand all the everything that needs to be done to get a successful technology to become a successful product, and also all the pitfalls, as well as how to navigate that very complex end-to-end process.
Yeah, so you've worked end to end, right? You've been at the bench, and then you've actually been at the discovery phase, and then you've been in an academic setting, and then you've gone to like a pharma and actually brought products to market, and then in investing in things. So you've had like the full,
whole
end-to-end process. You've touched every aspect of the end-to-end process. So, that brings a particular expertise that, sets you apart, I suppose. How has it been for you as a woman, as a startup founder? Do you find your experience to be different than your male peers?
Truthfully, no, I don't think so. The only difference is, and this is not something that I ever worry about, it's just something that I know. It's like often I'm, one of the few or the only woman in the room. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I don't care. I think I've never been shy about voicing my opinion or asking questions. So I have not seen it as an impediment at all.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I think, you wake up in the morning and you think, I'm the CEO of a company, I want to go in and do the best job I can. You don't think I'm a woman CEO, and therefore never thought of it that way, right?
Yeah.
You're a CEO, and by the way, you happen to be a woman, right? Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, and that's very important for us to discuss, because especially as we think about Women's History Month, and we've come a long way, and we don't want to be seen as a CEO just because we were a woman. We got to be the CEO. We want to be a CEO, because we earned it. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gosh, yes.
Yes. Now, before you go, I wanted to ask you, what has it been like to be the Cure Xchange Innovation Challenge winner? How has that changed for you since the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks have really been transformative. So it's been very exciting. It's helped put BioCurie on the map. And in addition, I've already expanded my network widely, and really looking forward to working with people within the Cure and having exposure to the ecosystem, spanning investors and collaborators, etc.
Yes, we're looking forward to having you here in the ecosystem, Irene.
Thank you. Yeah, now I look forward to also being a contributor, because part of my my ethos is also sharing that with others, because I want everybody to be successful.
Absolutely, and that's the ethos we love to have here as part of Cure. And investment community is also right here, right? We're right in the heart of everything around here. And what's next now? Well, first of all, welcome to the Cure ecosystem. We're glad to host you here for 1 full year of residency. What's next for you in terms of this year? What is it going to bring?
Oh, it's a very exciting year. So we are, as most early stage companies, we are fundraising, and we're in a great position now. So we're raising our pre-seed round. We are actively, working with collaborators and talking to early stage partners. We're busy recruiting, our great employees. So, and also it's a great opportunity for grants, for non-dilutive funding. And I think we've got really world-class differentiated science and technology. So I think we're in a really good place.
That's great. Well, month, and what is your message to women CEOs out there, or women researchers out there?
Well, this is my message to women, including as young as students like myself at the age of 12. There's never going to be a perfect time in your life where everything aligns. So my advice is just do it. And things will work out perfectly.
That's great. Just do it, folks. That's the message for all of us women from Irene Rombel. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Join us next week when we welcome Esther Dyson. She's a trailblazer in the digital space and in healthcare as an investor. She will share details from her extraordinary career and how she has worked to move us from an era of sick care to a new era of well care, where the emphasis is on keeping people healthy. So see you all next week, right here on Tuesday Talks.